every bone in my body is telling me to exit this position now because of these candles here. But I still want to hold true to my thesis and see it out through the end. Because if I get this correct, we can look at maybe making 5% of my portfolio just from this trade. So first of all, this is not financial advice, this is just my opinions and for education purposes only. Do consult your own financial consultant, do your own research, market research, and check your technicals. This is everybody between. Welcome to my channel where my goal is to help 1,000 people manage $10,000. Okay, so we are going into this week's watch list and this week's portfolio. Okay, let's start with this week's portfolio. So Aussie dollar, US dollar, and okay. So I went into the Aussie dollar, US dollar because I was expecting a Australian dollar retracement because it has come off quite a bit. You can see here it's come from here to here without any significant retracement. So I went long somewhere around here. But right now, I think most of this is going to be associated with the type of risks that come out of the US dollar. So as the US dollar weakens, I think it will be okay. So it's been strengthening quite a bit. And I don't see the Australian dollar kind of appreciating as much as I would have liked to see. I think what we can do is go to economic calendar. Let's look at this. Okay, so this week we have building permits, which is always a scary one for me because Australia tends to be a lot like Canada. There's a lot of risk in the building permits and generally the property sector in general. Generally the property sector in general. Just generally the property sector. This not too much of an issue. Home sales, so same property sector. And yeah, that's it. But what I have been seeing out of the US dollar Canada, which is also one of my theses, is that the property sector in Canada especially has been doing pretty well. So I don't see an issue here. Especially just for this week, I don't think it's much of an issue. So I think we'll just leave the trade on as for this week, and we'll see how we go. I don't have any technical reason to enter or exit. I just think that this looks like it's going to be a significant bounce off this level, and we'll see how far we can go. Ideally, what I want to see is a significant retracement off of this bear run here. This is a combination of weakening Australian fundamentals and positive US fundamentals, but this is a very, very big run. So if we look at this, we haven't really had much of retracements from its lows either. So we're still below this level 23.6. So ideally I want to see it somewhere around here, and this is a significant profit if we can get to this level. But based on the import-export data, I am just hoping for, as of this moment, I'm still looking at maybe somewhere around here. So that's just for this moment. Research is still ongoing. I'll still monitor the economic data as I always do, and we see how we go. And if the technical data tells me that we are headed lower, I might just stop out for the time being and just wait for better entry. Okay, so that's it for the Aussie US. Let's see, what else do we have? Euro Aussie. Okay, Euro Aussie, I have been short this for a very, very long time, since somewhere around here. And the reason I shorted this is because of I didn't believe the Euro fundamentals were very good, and like I said, the Australian fundamentals I believe will be very good. But the markers that I wanted to see have already come true. Okay, so looking at the Euroscepticism. It is a mess in Italy right now. What I can see is that the newly appointed PM has resigned. But let's just put this on. Say this is not very good for the euro. They rejected the finance minister's election, so now the euro is kind of facing a little bit of headwinds, and that's why we have this drop. Italy, people may not see it as a very big part of the EU, but I think it promotes a general Euroscepticism. One other marker I'm looking out for is this, which is the CFTC positions, which have actually dropped already from a high of about 150 to 109. So generally when this is up a lot, the currency will tend to go down. When it's down this much, the currency tends to move up. This is because of it's just the speculative positions of futures traders. So right now everyone's still very bullish on the euro. Not as bullish as they used to be, but much less bullish now than they used to be. So when I saw this, I thought that, you know, people shouldn't be that bullish about the euro because I have my own views about the euro, and I thought, you know, no way. So that's why I put a short position. That's when it came down, you know, it proves my thesis correct. But now the question is, how far more can it go? So if I look at technical indicators, the next support level is here, but as you can see here, we're already bouncing off these levels. It's a little bit significant already. So I should target these levels, but depending on what happens with this Italian Prime Minister, depending on what happens with the CFTC positions, I might take an exit. I should be, every bone in my body is telling me to exit this position now because of these candles here. But I still want to hold true to my thesis and see it out through the end. Because if I get this correct, we can look at maybe making 5% of my portfolio just from this trade. Okay, moving on. XRP, good thing we got out. So the entire Bitcoin market, the entire cryptocurrency market has been facing a little bit more headwinds. I got out at 0.68, which is around here. And I got in at about 0.68, which is also about here. So I got out at a small loss, and good thing I did because it looks like this is headed lower. The last time I went long was because there was this short squeeze here, which I kind of saw. The positioning was wrong, so short squeeze happened. But now, as you can see, we're back to these levels, and there's not really that much short positions. So what this means are people just selling out of the cryptocurrency market. It's not that there are no buyers right now. This is not caused by short sellers, but just a lack of buyers at these prices. And honestly, I don't see an end for this, because if I look at the other currencies, it's also facing the same problem. All the cryptocurrencies have this same problem. There are just no buyers right now. XLM I like, but this is also following the same kind of risk. So I'm gonna put this on my watch list now, because XRM has effectively halved from 50 cents, which is on January, so this is quite a good buying area. So we'll see how we go first. I need to do a little bit more research to figure out whether I want to be long, but at the moment this looks kind of interesting. Okay, next one is the FXI. Okay, FXI follows the China 50, and as you all know, the Kim Jong-un issue and all that has been causing some havoc in the stock market. So they call it geopolitical fears. I have no idea what that means, because in September last year I was long the VIX because I was expecting the market to freak out over the North Korean missile crisis. I mean, not missile crisis, but there were missiles flying all over the place, and we didn't go anywhere. So that argument doesn't really give me any reason to think that volatility would increase. But then again, that's what the financial media is telling you, and that's what the markets are doing. They've recovered somewhat, but definitely not all the way. Okay, so I'm just going to keep this long for now and we'll see how we go. China 50 index is less diversified than I'll like, but still good. Okay, Turkey. Turkey's a little scary. There was this gigantic spike here, up to 5. I think this is just caused by the big players in the market. In fact, there's so many big spikes in this currency, it's quite scary. So even if we were to enter it, we need to place our stops and I'll take profits accordingly. I am long. I want to short this because there is a good chance that Erdogan is not going to win. Election, Turkey may not win. I was reading this article. Yeah, I was reading this article and it did make a lot of sense to me that, you know, if Erdogan doesn't win, it's gonna be positive. I think either outcome will be positive. If Erdogan wins, I think it removes a lot of uncertainty from the market. I hope the state of emergency is removed and then we can slowly make our way down. If not, if Erdogan loses, I think that's also positive for the financial markets because they have a certain view of who Erdogan is, so that's also positive for the markets. As of this moment, I do not want to be long. I'm just waiting for this June 24th-ish thing to happen. So let's wait for that to happen and then we'll go long on this or short on this depending on how we see it. It was definitely short, it's just how much risk we want to put on the table. Okay, so that's it for this. And yeah, that's all I have. So this UniCredit, same as the other thesis which I had, UCG, same as the Eurosceptics thesis that I had. You know, we are seeing this political risk, therefore it's coming down, but I don't believe that's where fundamental value should be. Yeah, UniCredit is pretty good buy. We'll wait for the confirmation on who's the PM and whether his board can get elected and see how the agenda goes from there. But I expect this to go much higher. Much higher. Oh, and I'm also going to be going long on the Euro USD and short the S&P on certain dates. And it's because of this, which I read, makes a lot of sense. On quantitative tightening days where the bonds mature, there tends to be a lot of pull-out liquidity in the market. This is just an observation. It may or may not be true. I'm going to try it for this month because I think it's a pretty good bet. And even if it's wrong, I think it's worth trying out and see how good we go on this. So yeah, I'm going to add S&P and Euro USD to the thesis just because of it, to the watch list because of it. So I hope you liked that video. Do me a favor, like, comment, subscribe, or watch a video recommended by YouTube here, or watch one of my videos here. Thanks.